Today's lecture is on fact families, Common Core Standard MA 1-2.6b.5, compute using fact families. So you should have your templates inserted into your notebook already of your fact family triangles. These are taped in, as you can see, along the outer edges so that they can flip up. And what we're going to be doing is writing underneath your fact family triangle the proper fact family. Don't forget your learning goal and your what I know. A couple things we do want to talk about before we get into fact families. There are two definitions that I want you to have. First of all, I want you to have the definition addend. And those are two or more numbers being added together. And you have this definition most definitely on page 1 of your interactive notebook because we talked about it when we talked about long addition. However, I want you to have it again just on top of this page specifically. Also, inverse operation. The inverse operation is an opposite operation that undoes another. So there are operations that undo one another. And for example, 1 plus 3 equals 4, but 4 minus 1 equals 3. Right? Those two operations undo themselves. So inverse operations are addition and subtraction. They go together as inverse operations. So our first fact family is the numbers 4, 5, and 1. And they want us to fill out what is a complete fact family. How can I combine those three numbers to have an addition problem and a subtraction problem? Remember, there are 4 equations per fact family. We are actually going to flip your fact family tabs up and over, but I'm going to write kind of underneath them as we're working on our notes today. So the first problem I'm going to write is 4 plus 1 equals 5. Another problem in that fact family is 1 plus 4 equals 5. So as you can see, I have 2 addition problems, and all I did was I switched the order of the terms. Next, I'm going to say I need 2 subtraction problems. I need my inverse operations. So 5 minus 1 equals 4. 5 minus 4 equals 1. Again, I have 2 subtraction problems, and I just switched my subtractend and my difference as a solution to complete that fact family. The next fact family that I have has 2 6s and a 0, and it wants me to use addition and subtraction to create the fact family. So the first one I'm going to do is 6 plus 0 equals 6. Then I will say 0 plus 6 equals 6. Again, flip 6 minus 0 equals 6. And 6 minus 0 equals 6. Now this is kind of a confusing process here because I have 2 of the same numbers. But you can see for the addition problems, I did switch the order of the terms. And subtraction problems, I actually switched the initial 6 and the last 6. So the first one, assume that those 2 6s switch places to make the second subtraction problem. I'm going to do a couple fact families in terms of multiplication and division. So the first one says 18, 6, and 3. So how can I combine those numbers to create that fact family? Well, 18, let's start with multiplication. So 6 times 3 equals 18. 3 times 6 equals 18. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. And 18 divided by 6 equals 3. Last fact family that I have to review, 36 and 5. 6 times 5 equals 30. 5 times 6 equals 30. 30 divided by 5 equals 6. And 30 divided by 6 equals 5. I also wanted to mention the vocabulary for multiplying and dividing and having those fact families. You do want to include the word factor as being a number being multiplied. And also you want to be aware that the inverse operations here are multiplication and division. For example, 5 times 2 equals 10. 10 divided by 2 equals 5, right? It undoes the initial operation. Okay? So you should have pre-existing knowledge of fact families. This should be kind of a quick abbreviated lecture video for us, but please make sure that you are doing the what I learned and also the proof for today. Express the values in word form. Make sure that you're studying those fact families. And once again, completing your reflection for our next class.